When I talk to goalies who are trying to make the move up to the next level, the most common thing I hear is how different the speed is. And what that means for the goalie is either they're not quite getting to their spot in time, they're just a split second too slow, or they're getting there, but they don't have time to get square and get set to the shooter, or worse of all, they have to kind of guess, and they make a guess before the shooter makes their move, and those higher level shooters, they can really exploit that. So today I'm going to give you a July, so kind of a mid-late off-season speed workout that's going to help solve some of those problems, but it all goes together. I'll explain more. Let's go. Welcome back to Goalie Training Pro TV. My name is Maria Mountain. I am an exercise physiologist and I specialize in off-ice training for hockey goalies. I'm shooting this video at the beginning of July. We're heading into the most intense month of your off-season training. Today's video is a speed workout that's going to help you be better at making those transitions. So a lot of you are really good at making the first move, but sometimes it's when you have to make that second or third move that you fall behind the play. That's what we're going to work on today. But before I show you this workout, you need to appreciate that this workout alone won't solve your problems. If you don't have the mobility base, which includes stability, if you don't have the functional strength and sort of the power foundation that I've given you in other videos, then you're not going to maximize your benefits from doing this workout. So you might want to go back and have a look at the month 1 or month 2 workout videos just to make sure you're building that foundation first. And if you're like, oh my God, Maria, I haven't actually started my off-season training yet, I'm going to give you some strategies on what to do at the end of the video. But let's show you the workout first. When we're talking in terms of speed has to be fast and explosive. If fatigue is building in, then you're training stamina. So follow the rep ranges that I give you. Don't add more because you feel, oh, that's too easy for me. Speed training shouldn't be hard. It should actually feel pretty easy. Hard on your brain because you're really focusing, but not that hard on your muscles or not that fatiguing on your muscles. Before you start this workout, again, this is for those of you who have done your first 2 months of off-season training. This is your next step. If you haven't done those first 2 months, then go check out the videos for month 1 and month 2. You also will have done a good dynamic warm-up before you start this workout. So the first exercise is a depth jump to a lateral hop. You don't have to find the highest box possible. In fact, that's probably going to hinder your progress. We want just a little bit to challenge our deceleration, our load, and explode. So if it's too high a box, it's called the amortization phase. The amount of time your feet are on the ground is going to be too long. You're going to miss out on some of the plyometric effect. So a depth jump is just stepping off a box, landing and jumping and landing again. That is the depth jump. We're going to add a lateral hop to it. So I'm going to show you kind of at a medium speed so you can see exactly what's going on. But I'm going to hammer my hands down and up to help put more energy into the ground. And then as soon as I land, I'm driving laterally. I'm not trying to bound for height. I'm just trying to push laterally and then be set. When I give programs for the summer and I'll get athletes to to record themselves, video themselves on their phone and send it to me, sometimes it looks like too dancey. You know, I want it to really look purposeful. So when you drive over there, think head and hands, think of what your torso's doing, be ready for that shot. You're only going to do 2 to each side for that exercise. The puck out, got a change of it. Here's the Predators, and a marvelous save in the right pad. And because it's speed and because it has to be explosive, we're going to build in lots of sort of active rest, working on accessory exercises. So for this one, you're going to stand on your one foot. You're going to stare intently at the nail bed of your thumb, and you're going to trace that, moving your head with your hand about that speed as you go. So you'll do 3 reps each way, standing on this foot, and then you'll switch and do 3 reps each way, standing on the other foot. But take your time, be deliberate with it, really stare at that nail bed, and make sure your head is turning with your hand. In our earlier phases, we would have done just lateral explosive exercises from this position. In this one, we're adding a little wee impulse hop to it so that it's not just a predetermined movement. It's a little bit janky so that our body really learns how to find our feet and move from different positions. So for this one, we're going to do a little lateral impulse hop with this foot. So a lateral impulse hop is just boom, moving out here, and then we're pushing that way. So we'll start here, just in our normal half kneeling position, and then that little impulse hop and go. Thinking, where should my head be? Where should my hands be? And moving, getting as quick and powerful a hop as you can. It doesn't have to be the biggest hop. I want it to be quick and explosive. You'll do 4 of those to each side. Then you get to lie down. Well, this isn't so bad. When you lie down, you're going to do a little neck flexion exercise, so a little neck strengthening exercise, especially with the RVH. Your head's kind of hung out there a lot, and we want to try to strengthen up your neck so that maybe if you get a bump in the head, it isn't quite as big an issue. So this is a really small movement. I'm going to bring my tongue up on the roof of my mouth right behind my teeth. And then I just want to really think about rolling my head up off the ground. So almost as if there was a pivot point, like right through here. So I'm not lifting my head like that, leading with my chin. I'm almost rolling my chin down until my head just comes off the floor. And I'll hold that. And then I'll roll it back down again. So rolling your chin down, tongue behind your front teeth, until it just comes off the ground, and then hold it there. You'll do 4 of those and you'll hold for 5 seconds. Next one, I'm going to set up some resistance bands to the power rack. So I'm going to attach a couple super bands because we're going to do a resisted lateral bound. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I'm not using the heaviest resistance bands that I have. I don't want to completely crush all of my momentum. I want to get just a little bit of resistance that I can really work against and produce force against. So I'm using just like the 1 inch, 1.5 inch super bands, and I have that around my hips, not around my waist. And then we're going to do a lateral bound. The tempo on this is X0, X0, which means it's explosive. So I'm trying to drive, absorb, and explode as fast as I can against this resistance. So you'll notice I'm getting a good load. Sometimes you'll see goalies do this and they'll stay really straight on that leg and just kind of flick with their ankle. I do want to use my hip and knee to help, but I want to get off the ground as fast as I can. So I wouldn't want you to kind of really do a deep squat and push and do a deep squat and push, because again, that amortization phase will be too long. The other technique point is this leg will come in beside. Don't let it kick out behind. So don't let it cross under, bring it in beside. You'll just do 3 on each side, but with that X0, X0 tempo.
It's over his shoulder, that wrister partially blocked by Montour. Out in front, Bobrovsky dives to his right with a robbery.
Then we're going to give our legs a little bit of a break and go to some rotary power, but we're going to do that from a sort of a wide stance here so that we get that rotation of our torso with our adductors in a lengthened position. So to start with, go about 75% of what your max stretch is, just to get a feel for it, because when you add that rotation, it's going to put more pull on your groin. So don't go to your maximum end range and then start ripping this medicine ball. You could tear your groin doing that. So start off a little bit easy, but then it's going to be rotary pass. 6 of those to each side. Start a little bit easy the first time, just to get the feel. Hey, how's the ball coming off the wall? How much force is there? This is just a 6-pound medicine ball. And that's heavy enough. Maybe you would go as heavy as 8, but here's the theme. You just need a little overload. It has to be fast. So you need to be linking them, smashing them, burst that medicine ball if you can. That's how much power you want to be generating. 6 on each side. The next one is one of my favorite exercises that gets done poorly a lot, and people get dancing on it. So it's this quick step lateral hop. I'm following the play, and then boom, there's a pass across and a shot's coming. That's the kind of feeling, the kind of desperation I want to have getting back to this spot. I see it too much like that's not how you want to move on the ice when the game is on the line. So we're going to be here, it's going to be quick step, and now I'm square and I'm ready for that shot and I'm solid. You know, if a skater bumped me, I wouldn't be moving anywhere. So it's quick step and then pushing back over. And you'll do 4 to each side. Then another sort of active recovery, working on a stabilizer. We're going to do a bungee W. So I'm using a light super band. This is even a little wee bit heavy, but I start here like I'm holding a tray, and then I come in to make a W pattern without extending my back. So I'm working my rotator cuffs. You're going to do 8 reps of that, but you should be using a light enough resistance that you're just getting to the onset of fatigue at those 8 reps. It should never be like really hard or exhausting, just like, oh yeah, now I start to feel those muscles getting a little bit tired. Which brings us to the last exercise of this circuit, which is a half kneeling outer range push. I was having a conversation with a goalie coach a while ago who was saying, yeah, like your goalie has to bring your foot up underneath here to get power to push. That's the best place. And in a sense, he's right. That is the best place. Biomechanically, you're going to get the most force from here. But I don't always need a maximum push. In fact, I very rarely need to push as hard as I can go to get where I need to be, even me. and I'm not at the level that you are. Because if I push as hard as I can, I'm going to overshoot my spot most of the time. And then I have to decelerate to stop and get square and be set. So we want to get very good at pushing in different ranges. Part of the reason coaches feel that way is because we never train outer range pushing, and you can be powerful and quick from your outer range to get you anywhere you need to be in your blue paint. So we're going to train it a little bit. We're going to start just from this position. So see, my foot is outside. Again, start easy with this one, because when I push and open up, that's putting a strain on my groin. For most of you, it's going to feel just fine, like nothing. But some of you, if you have really tight adductors, it's going to be too much. So you would start just stepping out of it. Just kind of stepping out, just like that. And then as you're like, okay, yeah, that feels totally fine. And this foot doesn't have to be in a big butterfly. Just half kneeling is fine. But head and hands, and I'm trying to get, again, that idea, that 1-inch punch, as much force as I can get just from the standstill. Watch yourself and even video yourself that you're not loading and then pushing. Everything should stay moving that way, the direction that I'm going. And for that one, you also do 3 on each side. Then what happens, Maria? What's next? Well, I'm glad you asked. What's next is you're going to take a 3-minute rest. And this isn't a subjective thing. It's that your anaerobic alactic energy system, your ATP-CP energy system, takes about 3 minutes to recharge to like 99.7% of its maximum capacity. So that's why we wait that long. So don't wait and be like, oh, I feel good, I'm just going to start now, because you're not getting that startup energy system that we really want to use for your power training. So you'll rest for 3 minutes, and then you'll go through that circuit one more time, really paying attention, moving with purpose, moving with some desperation to get there, but being solid and focused and ready for a shot. So to reiterate, speed has to be fast, it has to be explosive, it has to be done with purpose. This workout won't help you if you don't have the mobility and the functional strength foundation that we need to build speed and power. So if you haven't done your training yet, if you're just like, oh my God, I'm just starting now, then you really should go back to month 1 and 2, and we'll have to run a condensed training schedule. you will not be able to work twice as hard and make the same gains as if you'd started in May. Just make a little note to yourself next May 1st to start your off-season training. But you can run sort of 3-week blocks instead of 4 or 5-week blocks, and you won't complete a full off-season training schedule in the next 6 weeks. It's impossible. So don't try, and don't make the blocks like a week and a half each and think, oh, there, I've ticked all the boxes. That doesn't work either. Your body takes time to adapt it. So you can't just, it's not like an exam you can cram for and get a good mark. Do what you've done, and then you'll just transition seamlessly into your in-season training. And in programs like Game Winning Goalie Formula, you know, we build up this off-season phase, and then we transition you right into your in-season. Even if you're training with your team, like you have to do your team workout, well then I color code it. So you know, okay, we're gonna get these big rocks with my team training, a big push, a big pull, a big leg exercise, but here are the goalie ones that I need to do to really help keep building my speed during the season, or at very least maintain that speed, strength, mobility that I need on the ice. If you want my help getting you through this last bit of the off season or into your in season, then you can check out the programs that I have linked in the description. Game Winning Goalie Formula is one where you get contact with me 6 out of 7 days of the week. You can ask questions. We do a live coaching call, all those kinds of things. Otherwise, I have downloadable programs, so you can just go in, download it, follow it on your own. All those links are in the description for you. So keep training smart, train hard on the right things, be consistent with your training. So even if you haven't trained up to this point, just start today, be consistent, build that foundation, and go from there. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment. If you have any questions or you have your own personal scenario, drop it in the comments, and I'll do my very best to help you out. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I love you guys.